Well, I'm going to speak to you a message today called Simplify Your Life. It's worth showing up just for that title. Simplify Your Life. This has not come to me cheap. It did not come to me easy. So don't be fooled by the casual delivery to think this is not a massive thing that's been said in this next 30 minutes. This message comes to you really courtesy of Gertrude Peacock. There she is. Isn't she beautiful? She's the oldest person I know, that we know. She's 106. She's still alive. She was about 103 there when she was much younger. We have known Gertrude since she was in her mid-70s. How weird is that to say about anyone? And we've known her for 30 years plus since her mid-70s. She used to babysit all of our kids, and the fact that she survived that, I'm surprised she's lived this long. We'd say to our kids, how did it go? We'd say to Gertrude, how did it go when we came over and, came back and she went home? Oh, it was great. The kids were no trouble. We knowing the kids were trouble. So the next morning we say to the kids, how did it go? Were you gentle? Were you kind? Were you obedient? For Gertrude, she's old. And they said, oh, it was awesome. We had her wrestling with us on the floor. We got her to take her teeth out for us. Oh my gosh. And Gertrude never told us all the abuse that our kids put into her life. She was amazing and beautiful, and of all the people we continued to visit when we stopped pastoring, she was the one that we kept visiting and dropping into her world. And I figured that she's the oldest person I knew. So when she was nudging 90, I said to her, Gertrude, is there anything you could tell me to help me age well? You might as well ask, haven't you? You might as well, somebody that's 100 plus, going to be living forever. I said, what do you think? Could you tell me anything? She said, Paul, sit down, let me tell you something. Ooh, this is great. She said, at the start of every decade, I sat down with a pen and paper and I wrote down a number of things that I should not do anymore and a number of things I should do more of. And she said, I believe that in that list was the key to my surviving and living and doing well for another decade. She said, you should do that. You should sit down at the start of every new decade and make a list of things that are things you need to do more of or do less of. And she said, I think if you just did that you would age well and live a long time. And I said, wow, well, what kind of things do you mean? She said, well, I just turned 90 and I decided that I should not be as independent as I have been in my living. Because she fell and broke her wrist on the ice going to get a cab to church because she wouldn't let anyone give her a lift because she was so not wanting to put anybody out. She's that kind of lady. So she broke her wrist and decided, okay, I cannot risk this in my old age, walking on the ice. I am going to get some help. I'm going to go into assisted living. And at the age of 91, she also decided on her list eventually to give in to all the nagging of the family that she would have a pacemaker fitted in her heart. These were things that she felt would give her more longevity than 90. And when she was 99, 100-ish years old, she had to go into hospital for surgery. Guess for what? To change the pacemaker batteries. Yes. What a thing to have on your social media and your CV. I outlived those Duracell pacemaker batteries. The surgeon said, we have never done surgery on anybody as old as you to change pacemaker batteries. She's 106. She's so tired. She's so fed up. She so wants to go to heaven. Those flipping batteries are keeping her alive. And I want to speak to you about 7 things that I wrote down when I began my 50s, a few years ago. I'm still in them, just. That were 7 things that I thought would help me to simplify my life and may help you simplify yours too. You need to make up your own list. Some of these will apply to you, some of them won't, but these are my 7. Because we need to know, all of us, complexity is not neutral. Complexity is costly. In the corporate world, complexity costs the corporate world billions of pounds every year are wasted because of unnecessary things that leaders and bosses and companies allowed to get involved in their business, and everything that's unnecessary and non-essential requires funding and resourcing and management and meetings and all those multiple layers on something that was not required in the first place, create complexity that has massive financial implications. Complexity is like fat and stress. There's good versions and bad versions of both. This church has developed beyond where you began, and your life now as a church is spread out, multifaceted, multi-venue, multi-campus, multi-locations here around Europe and the world. That brings with it its own kind of complexity. We don't mind that. We welcome complexity in our lives that is serving our mission, our purpose, our vision. We don't mind that. But there's another kind of complexity that hides in the shadows of the good complexity. It's right next to it. It's so similar to it that we don't sometimes recognize the bad version from the good version. This unnecessary, unhelpful complexity that does not help your life to stay simple is what I'm after exposing and helping you figure out in your life today in this session with you. And I'm going to give you 7 things. There's more, but here's my current top 7 that have served me well for the last few years of my life. You all ready? All right, number 1, here goes. Number 1 key to simplify your life: reduce drama. Hello. Hello. Should we just stay here for 30 minutes? Should we just stay here? Now, in this next few minutes, as I speak about drama, everybody look straight at me. I'm on my phone already. Where are you? Are you in the room? I hope you're listening, because you need to hear this. Oh my gosh, drama. Thank God someone said it. Now, I would have said remove drama, but it's hard to remove it if you're married to it. Or if it's your boyfriend, or your girlfriend, or if it's your parents, or your kids, or your best friends, or your boss. Removing it becomes more difficult when you're attached to it. So I decided to downgrade my language to be more realistic and talk about reducing drama. If you can remove it, good. But if you can reduce it, then at least do that. If you will commit this year to go on a drama reduction campaign, you will simplify your life and you will survive, not just survive, you will flourish this year in a drama-free year. We would like to say to all of you who are the drama queens of our life, please take this year off. We would like you to take a vacation from bringing so much stress and drama to our lives, because drama is not neutral. Drama is very, very costly. And what we want to say to you who we love in our lives, because we can't remove you, so we got to love you. We love you and want to say to you that your gift to us, your greatest gift to us, is that you would this year become a low maintenance person.